Hi, so this video is a little revision on the Python work that we've done so far in our classes, and I'll quickly get you through the basics that we've done, and then we'll look at the if statements and all. So I am in the normal idle window that we've been using for all our classes, and the first thing that I want to do is to just create a simple program to calculate some area that we had done in the class as well. Now, before I do that, I first of all want to explain to you the types of data that can be used in Python. So let's say if I have a number that I want the user, the person who will be running my program, if I want the user to input a number, then in that case, I would, give a name of a variable, which is the place to store a particular value. And I'm going to use int because it's going to be an integer, a whole number with no decimal parts. So if you have integers, you can just input it like this, enter the number, okay? And let's say I have another number that I want to input. So let's call the first one as number 1. Let's call the second one as number 2. And the number 2 that I want the user to input, I want them to input a decimal point value, right? So I'm going to use float. Float is the type of data which is for the decimal numbers. So I would say enter the decimal number, okay, for them to know that what sort of input am I asking. And in case you want anyone to input their name, right, which is a combination of letters basically or characters, so you're going to use no int, no float, nothing. You just say input and you say enter your name, okay? So this input without any int or float, we are referring to a string of characters, like a name, like a password, which is a combination of special characters, digits, numbers. So anything which is a combination of different things is called a string. And for inputting a string, we do not use any int and float. That is only used for the numbers. So let's quickly save this and let me run this. So the first one that is up on screen is a normal integer value. So I'm just going to say 4. Enter the decimal number. So I'm going to say 4.5. Enter your name. So I'm just going to say my name and that's it. Okay. Now, if I want to print any of these, you can easily print it also. You can say something like print. Okay. And you say print what? Number 1. And print the name as well. Okay. So when you do that and when you run it, so it's going to ask you the integer. So let's say 3, 4.5 is my decimal, that's my name, and it should be able to print all the values that I've entered so far. Okay, so through this you have understood the data types as well as how do you print it. In the next tutorial, I will explain to you about the if statements.